cracks me up.
Sorry, this.
Yeah,
Imagine being wished back to life to immediately get killed by a bunch of like nerdy little androids.
Mm-hmm.
It says Tien is helpless to defend himself as he is mercilessly choked by Android 17. Hey everyone, welcome to Pointless Discourse, my site. I was looking at my waveform, making sure it exists. Hello. I totally have done multiple episodes of recording a podcast before. This is not new to me. I am totally experienced.
I don't know.
But yes, I am Hoppocalypse. This is Xpcveaoqfoxso.
Hello, I am Hoppocalypse, and that is Xpcveaoqfoxso.
Weirdmageddon!
I'm gonna switch our names around
for these last few episodes. But yeah, so we are here to talk plenty of spoilers with you about Gravity Falls. Before we hop into that, do we have a fun fact that relates to the episode this time?
I don't know if it's fun, but we do have a fact. We'll find out how fun it is after I read it. Shapeshifter was inspired by Batman. The character's true form was, in fact, inspired by Clayface. Okay, then it wasn't inspired by Batman.
Did it do Batman trademark? So, like, it's the Batman franchise?
No, it's just Batman. I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then I'm like, it seems more like Clayface. And then it's like, inspired by Clay... Titles. However, the character design, Robert Ryan Corey. I don't know I don't know. It looks like there's a typo with his name. But anyway, also based the creature on the Vietnamese egg roll. And it takes a lot of creativity to form a character out of a dish. Do you agree? Okay, what's a Vietnamese egg roll look like?
Whatever the facts want to claim, I don't have the sources on this.
Me neither. I don't see...
Well, realistically, we just need to trust everything on the internet. The internet never lies to us. We would never lie on the internet.
Sure.
Did you roll your deception?
I'm not rolling nothing. The only thing I could think of, because the Vietnamese egg rolls,
it's like the summer roll, right? Where it's the clear rice
yeah,
paper.
They use the rice paper, and it's like I could see that, but I mean,
it's filled with other foods, so the creature itself is filled with candy? Question mark.
The shapeshifter?
Or am I mixing up shapeshifter with the candy monster?
The candy. You're thinking of the candy monster. The shapeshifter is the one where they go into the bunker.
Oh.
And
yeah, why would they say that?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you know what? To the wiki. Let's see.
I mean, it kind of is translucent on the outside.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I could see, but I'm like,
we thought it was the thing. Well, at least there's parts of it that seem more like the thing.
Yeah, hold up. I'm going on the wiki to see what they say here. As soon as I find there we go, the shapeshifter. Inspiration, the thing. That's what they say here.
Oh no, we don't know the sources. We don't know what's true. Have the facts been lies this whole time?
That's why we said we're not 100% sure if they're fun facts.
Oh, we were more concerned with the facts, not the fun part then.
Yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see the Clayface thing. I don't know. It could have definitely been some weird offshoot conversation that they had. It's right here. The true form was inspired by Clayface, animated from the anime, and was also based off the Vietnamese egg roll character designer. Yeah, this character designer once ate.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was not very fun.
It's from a Tumblr post that he wrote in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, guy.
Well then, in any case, we are finally coming up to the episodes you've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this.
Weirdmageddon?
No, the part after it. Xpcveaoqfoxso.
Oh, well, I'm not going to pretend to.
Neither am I. I just said I don't know how to pronounce it.
I mean, you did make an attempt. You said noises out loud that kind of started with the X.
I was trying to look through and see if it was like some weird code thing. I didn't see it. It was a really bad time to take a drink of water, but my throat got dry.
Oh, you're smart. I forgot to refill my cup of water. We'll see how this goes.
You can. Well, now we know who's going to be talking about the episode.
We shall see.
I will say, rolling dice, it has made me think of this D&D game I have to go to. That makes it sound really bad. I do enjoy going there. I enjoy going there when I get there. We can roll while I'm talking, but
we didn't tell the people why we roll dice and what we'll be doing when we roll the dice.
Because we're big nerds, and when we roll a die, it determines who's going to be speaking first. Whoever rolls the highest. We roll d20s. I normally am not the one saying this, but I dropped my die. I don't know where. There it is.
Well, in the meantime, I will roll mine.
All right. Are we counting off the table?
I don't know if we've established rules. I'm going to see if I can get my camera to focus because it's nighttime. I'll do the influencer thing. So I promise I rolled the dice. And this is...
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Can you focus for me?
Look, people have been trying to get me to focus for years. All right.
Oh?
Oh,
Can you read it? Can you read it?
Is that a 10 or is it a 20?
It's a 13.
What is it? 13? Well, let me tell you, when I dropped my die on the ground, I rolled a 15. And then I re-rolled it because I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't count that in an actual game. And then I rolled a 16. So
it's meant to be. You have water. You get to talk.
Yeah. I don't know. The dice gods have said, yeah, no.
You thought you could get out of this one. No, remember our pattern. Each of us talks for about 3 episodes in a row. And then it swaps.
Did you talk to your 3? Oh, yeah, you did.
I did do my 3. You only did 1.
Is it? Yeah, it is. It is kind of, I'm looking at that. Except for the beginning where I don't know.
There was one where I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was like, please.
Yeah. So. We'll see. But to finish my thought of earlier was, I do enjoy playing this D&D game when I get there. It's just the process of getting there and getting my brain to accept that I'm going takes work. I don't know why I'm wired this way, but I'm like, I know I'm going to have fun, but I don't want to go. But as soon as I get there, I know I'll enjoy myself, but I still... But I'm realizing I'm having an issue with the book they're going through. Mainly because I think I wasn't there for like the first session, but it's like the Icewind Dale book.
Yep.
Where pretty much it's just a giant open world.
Yeah, it's a sandbox game.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I, as a player, have no clue what our goal in this game is. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's something that will happen as we go forward, but I'm just like, it's me, like, and I feel like with the games I run, it's just like, I tell the players, probably because I come at it differently, because it's for a show, and I'm like, here's the purpose, this is what we're doing, so, like, you can do whatever you want, but, like, here's... Normally, like, all my games are in sandbox things as well, but it's, like... I think because it's, like, we're recording, like, a 10-episode jaunt. It's just, like, here is your end goal.
You have to keep it a little more snug.
Yeah. To where, with this, I'm just, like... I don't know what we're doing, and this is legitimately why... we were using a legendary item as a diving bell to go see if we could find treasure at the bottom of a frozen lake. So, it's... which, that in its own is a fun story event, but I'm like, I would like to see, like, end stuff. I also would like my character to die, but that's just me.
That's a different problem.
You know, it's not a problem. It's a feature. I have no attachment. It's the same thing with Baldur's Gate 3 as I'm playing through there. As I read all these posts where everyone's like, I love this character, and I want to romance this character, and this character's great. And I'm like, I want them all to die. They're only allowed to stay because they're useful. This one does the bow, this one does the heal, and this one gets angry, and I turn into a bear. So, anyway, Weirdmageddon 1. That's right. This one has a 1 in front of it, and it's pronounced after it. Yes. And then after the 1, there's a colon, semicolon. I don't know what that. I see it all the time, but I forget what it's called.
A colon?
A
semicolon doesn't match.
Yeah, the semicolon has the little loopy loop on the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a dot and then a comma underneath.
A comma. Yes.
How loud is the zipper for my stationery?
Oh, I can hear it.
Maybe it's because I adjusted my mic settings.
Yeah. What you guys don't see if you're all listening to the audio, that she's like sticking it in the mic, like, can you hear it? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, so Xpcveaoqfoxso.
You said you weren't even gonna try.
Yeah, well, I lied twice.
But we don't lie on the internet.
Yep. I do. I don't lie about dice rolls.
This is turning into the you have 2 statues in front of you. One of them says the one on the right is the liar. And the other one, which one's telling the truth? I forget how the thing goes, but you know what I'm talking about.
One is lying, one is lying, one is telling the truth. It's so funny watching that in like media when it comes up. There's I don't know, I think one of the earliest ones I saw was Labyrinth. Where it was just, but they cheated. Now I think about it, they like purposely like turned tiles around. It's like, where do you want to go? Oh, not that way. If you went this way, you could go right to the castle. It's like, but both of you lied. Anyway, this episode opens up with the true hero, Bill Cipher, as he's super excited as pretty much the tear in space, the fabric of space and time, open up as a giant, cool-looking X in the sky. As he's super excited.
It's kind of like the older Xbox logo, like Xbox original logo.
Yeah, but instead of green, it's like red and orange and yellow. Excuse me. And so, yeah, he's like kind of like gleefully laughing, and he's like, it's finally happening, as pretty much his triangle shape grows muscle fibers, and then he's like, a physical form, don't mind if I do, as it's encased in a metal, and then kind of vanishes as we see Blendon. He gets control of himself again. He's like, what the dump? And just is like, and like, see, as he kind of is freed from his control, he sees Mabel, kind of, who's passed out still, lifted up into a bubble with their little shooting star symbol on it, and then chains shoot all around it before it shoots off into like kind of space. And he's like, oh, pretty much like, we got a bad situation, as he kind of vanishes away. As we go downtown, yeah, we have pretty much everyone there just like, what's going on? And Bill's like, all right, you one lifespan 3-dimensional 5-cent skin puppets. That's a fun insult. Pretty much he says, like, I've been trapped in my decaying dimension for over like 1 trillion years, and now I'm here to claim this one. And pretty much tells him like, I'm going to be your Lord Master for all eternity, as he melts the statue of Nathaniel Northwest, as like everyone kind of freaks out, and he's like, all right, time to meet my buddies. And as they come out from the X in the sky We have 8-Ball, Kryptos, the one whose name must never be said. What the heck? It's Xanthar. And then, of course, there's Teeth, Keyhole, Hectogron, Amorphous Shape, Pyronica, Pacifier, and these guys, which I think were like the little bats and stuff. And so, yeah, so pretty much they all like kind of stand there, kind of like almost if there was like an explosion of like pyrotechnics behind it, it could be like a Power Ranger thing. But anyway, so they all show up and they're all like, yeah, this rocks, as Tyler in like a blazer, still in his shorts and a blazer with little like mayor sash around him. He's like, no, are you unholy triangle fella? I strongly urge you to get on out of here. To where this made me laugh as Lazy Susan's like, yeah, things with one eye are weird. But yeah, everyone's kind of like just yelling at them and just like telling them to get out as Preston steps up and is like, oh, to say as a rich capitalist, I would welcome tyrannical rule, and perhaps I would be one of your horsemen of the apocalypse. As Pacifica's, rightfully so, was very disappointed. As Bill's like, wow, that's a great offer. How about I full the functions of every hole in your face? As his face becomes all mixed up. Which, this moment was the moment I'm like, how did this get past Disney approval?
It is very horrifying.
Yeah, and then it just keeps on going. It's like, did Gravity Falls like get to the point where it's like so many people liked it that it couldn't be touched?
Yeah, because it was opening. How many did this episode premiere to? Let me check on the wiki.
Well, while you look that up, yeah, so that happens, and
1.9 million viewers on episode premiere.
That's a big number,
I think that's lower than some of the other episodes. No. Yeah, about 1.9 is about average. Karaoke was 2.4 million.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know how hot this show was because like when it was out, because I didn't know it existed until a year ago.
Thanks to me.
Yeah. Hop's like, hey, you want to watch a show? I'm like, I don't know. As I said that voice, I just imagine Hop like as the Resident Evil 4 merchant. Hey, what are you watching? Just opens up the trench coat and there's like Gravity Falls, Ted. I forgot the first part. Everybody, no. Better Off Ted. Other things she suggested. Oh, Over the Garden Wall.
Erased,
yes. And at that point, we would run out of room of at least that side. But yeah, so pretty much all that happens as Durlin actually gets petrified, or turned to stone, as he falls into Blubs' arms, and he's like, my precious Durlin, no, as an eye bat takes Durlin away. And Bill pretty much starts terraforming Gravity Falls into what I guess it could be called mad forming.
Yeah.
Or chaos forming. Maybe that will work. Anyway, pretty much there's these he creates like this pyramid in the sky. He allows all these bubbles of pure madness to sprout out of the ground. As the bubble passes through Sprott, which I think Sprott's the like farmer. No, he's the guy that has waddles in the beginning.
Yeah.
As the bubble like slowly goes over him, and he's just comes out screaming and ripping his shirt off as he's just like, oh no. As Bill just says the party never stops, time's dead, and meaning has no meaning. Existence upside down, and I reign supreme. Welcome one and all to Weirdmageddon. As the water tower wakes up and roars, as we get a new theme song version, where it starts off a little static, and pretty much we see certain creatures, certain things come to life. We see pretty much Bill takes over every person in almost every version in there. We see 8-Ball taking Dipper's place as he kind of turns. Normally, when he holds the candle, turns around and sees the skeleton, which turns around as 8-Ball turns around to see Dipper, which I believe that's showing that Dipper, the skeleton he turns around and sees in a normal theme song, is actually 8-Ball's skeleton. I think I think that's a similar
flip of the reference. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Teeth takes Mabel's, pretty much Mabel's version. Oh, where am I getting versions? Let's see. I can say right here. So, yeah, who's got to? And then, yeah, but pretty much it doesn't really tell me all I was hoping for. But yeah, pretty much all our normal characters are replaced by Bill's friends. And at the end, it shows, I think, Blubs, Manly Dan, and like another 2 people huddle around a campfire, like in fear, as instead of like a weird bat face thing behind them, it's not Gravity Falls, Bill Cipher just like menacingly coming out of the shadows, as it cuts to the last scene of Bill Cipher and all the Polaroid pictures, and has replaced the Pines family and friends picture of him in all their clothes, just kind of sitting there. And I think even at the end scene is when it says Gravity Falls, I think instead of saying Alex Hirsch or by Alex Hirsch, it says by Bill Cipher. I think I saw that. So anyway, all that happens as we go, as the theme song ends, and we're back to Dipper and Ford, as they're talking, and just like, well, this is how the world ends. And Weirdmageddon is like pretty much a stampede of animals come out of the woods, and well, animals and gnomes, as they kind of just crash into Dipper as he gets knocked over, and Gnome's like, move it, stretch, and it's like, we're skimpy in here, as Ford like kind of helps him up, and he's like, look, Bill's world is spilling into ours, and every minute his powers grow stronger. To where Dipper's like, Mabel, like, pretty much says, the rift must have cracked while it was inside her backpack, and so she must be in danger. We gotta go help her out. While Ford's like, listen, we can go find your sister whenever we want, but like, we gotta stop Bill now. Like, we gotta stop this before the weirdness takes over the goal, and then we can find her. And Dipper still unsure. It's like, are you sure about this? And Ford honestly is like, no, but we gotta do what we can. So Dipper agrees with this, as before they go, and he's like, well, we might want to step inside, as excuse me, as they run inside, a gnome just yells, weirdness wave, as this like colorful like wave of weird washes over Gravity Falls. Excuse me. And so we see the wave washes over the Mystery Shack, and then it goes over Seuss's house, which causes the barbecue to like come to life and run away, because I think it's like it goes over, and then it's like 2 seconds and nothing, and all of a sudden
your mic cut that out on Zoom. On Zoom, yeah. At least.
Well, the audio listeners will like that. Let's see, 24. I want that to be the cold open. So Seuss like sees it from the window, and he's like, oh, I bet a tidal wave of madness just went over us. And like Oscar would just say, "Oh, Susie, you have such an imagination." He turns around and she's turned into a chair, and he's like, right, like, ugh. And like kind of a little freaked out as Alberta's just like, "Why don't you take a seat and relax?" Which I'm like, that's a weird thing. Yeah, it's like I don't blame Susie. Just like, I'm gonna leave now. As she's like, well. It's like, hey, you help the others. As Sue stands up, heroic, is like, when the universe is broken, there's only one handyman can fix it. It's like, I'm coming with you, friends. And then I think this would be the best thing to do. And Alberta's case was just like, time for a nap, as she just reclines in recliner. From there, we go to Stan, who is nailing a sign to a tree. Completely unaware of anything that's just happened. Like, he's not even aware that this could... Yeah. Like, he just... Yeah, I think ignoring was just like, whatever. and as Gumpers, like, bites into his fez and rips the tassel off, and he's like, all right, that's it. I'm going to throw you off this property for good. And then the wave comes over, which is interesting. I guess the wave has selective changing things, because I guess not everything is changing when the wave hits it. But, like, Gompers, like, grows to, like, giant size.
Over the tree line.
Yeah, and Stan's like, you know what? I'm going to run like a coward now. And screams and runs away. But, yeah, Stan seems pretty unaffected by this. And then we go down to the arcade as the wave hits. We see the wave wash over to that. And pretty much we get a re-showing of Rumble McSkirmish, who's like, ha, freedom to punch, as he's there. And then finally we go to the Gravity Falls Maximum Security Prison, as the prison counselor is reviewing all the finger paintings, and it's just like, oh man, this is good. And then we get to Gideon's. Obviously Gideon's. Yes, which is a torn piece of paper with a knife through it, painted all red and black with revenge and love, with Mabel, a picture of Mabel on it. As he's like, Gideon, does this look like someone who's ready to re-enter society? As Ghost Eyes is like, Gideon's unappreciated in his time. And so, yeah, I didn't realize the other one's name. One of them was named Killbone. He's I don't remember it being said out loud. Yeah. Oh, it's in one of the shorts. Yeah, but he's like, Gideon's makes prison life worth living. And they all start cheering for Gideon as Gomper shows up and, like, eats the ceiling, making everything fall down, and crushes the counselor, who I'm pretty sure is dead. I would be surprised if they weren't. Yeah. But they're all like, they look outside and just see, like, all the, like, strangeness out there, and Gideon's like, oh my, Bill came through. And so we go downtown as Bill's like, you ready to cause some havoc, boys? And all his friends are just laughing and having a good old time, as behind him in, I guess it's a church or town hall. It doesn't really say. Like an abandoned school building. It just has the really tall steeple and has the bell in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has the bell. And so Ford opens up the quantum destabilizer, which apparently is in the first episode of season 1. I just don't remember it. Yeah, I don't remember either. So, yeah, but Ford's like, we only get one shot like this, and, like, it's, like, made for Bill, as it has, the triangle sightline scope. Yeah. Which I also think of Tien from Dragon Ball Z, who's just like, I don't remember what he says. I just know that's how he's. It's a weird power because it, like, zooms in. It also doesn't. Like, isn't Tien the one that doesn't live very long? Doesn't he and his friend die in the first tournament? I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I'm saying the right name. I'm making sure while not looking anything up. I have my phone out. Yeah, Tien, I think, is the bald dude with 3 eyes. Yes, he does do that. I'm trying to remember. Yamcha dies a bunch. Who dies in the first tournament? Dragon Ball Z. Because I remember 2 people die in that first tournament, and I was like, oh, people die in this show. Yeah, well, a lot of the tournaments were more Dragon Ball. But yeah, in Dragon Ball Z, like in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Goku dies. Spoilers for a completely different show, by the way.
He goes to heaven and comes back. He's a whole thing.
A couple times.
I'm trying to think. There was like the little guy with a little hat. It was
that's Tien's buddy. He's like all white, right?
Yeah. For some reason, I thought he died in the first tournament.
A lot of that stuff I think is in the Cell tournament, because a
lot of people die in the Cell arc, so
pretty much. Well, in the Boo arc, everybody pretty much dies,
and then they time travel a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they. I believe it's. I don't actually. It might be against the androids, because like they don't have like if I remember correctly in Dragon Ball Z, like their official tournament doesn't happen until like the Cell games, the first one. Everything else is just threats that show up that they have to fight. No, because I take that back. Hold up. No,
I forgot Tien fights against like Gohan, and I was like, why is he beating up a child? Sorry, I'm still scrolling.
Yeah. I don't know. I like a lot of DBZ stuff, but I don't know. I kind of miss like when I go back and look at Dragon Ball. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in Dragon Ball where it's like it wasn't power levels and all this other stuff where it's just like, yep, I'm Super Saiyan butt-tastic. It's like there's a lot of like you can see people actually using martial arts and stuff. What you find?
They all have halos.
Yep,
so
they're all
there's this
dead.
little buddy, and there's the guy you were talking about.
Yep,
Piccolo
and Yamcha.
Yeah, all in their little halos. So when I was like, don't a lot of people die? It's like, yeah, that's right. A lot of people die.
I think.
This says
I think that's the Boo. Is that Boo Saga? Because I think they're all
No, this
watching,
is saying Frieza Saga.
Frieza? Oh, yeah, I guess Piccolo was there for that.
Yeah, he comes back with Goku after this. Because Goku's like, I don't know how to raise my kids. Sorry.
Yeah. That is a completely different argument that I don't know. I have different thoughts than a lot of the internet on that one, but that's a completely different discussion. If we ever watch all of Dragon Ball Z, which I'm not, me neither. I'm if they had a truncated version of that.
There's
maybe.
Dragon Ball Kai.
Kai, yeah. Which, what was it? The Team 4-Star guys, I remember they were in an interview and they're like, or not an interview, but they went to a convention where people were talking about Dragon Ball Kai. And they're just like, so what's the point of this? And they're like, yeah, we're making it shorter so that way it's like people can watch all Dragon Ball Z. It takes out the long cuts and stuff. And they're like, kind of like what we do. And they're like, the Dragon Ball Z guys, like, apparently all watched abridged. And they're just like, no, they were all super supportive of it. And made a huge laugh. So, but anyway,
before I forget, so it says that apparently the deceased Ginyu force, excluding Captain Ginyu, challenged Tien, Yamcha, and Chiaotzu. And Tien takes on 2 of the Ginyu force members and kills them off beats them quickly. And they're like, oh, the Ginyu force had beat Vegeta before, so like we're really strong. And it says Tien is eventually wished back to life along with Chiaotzu by a wish made to Purunga, as they willingly agreed on getting revived 4 months after Yamcha in order to not get separated. And then once back on Earth, they just go and train in the mountains.
Yep. It's, oh man, like, okay, last little bit. Not Yamcha, Tien cracks me up.
Sorry, this.
Yeah.
Imagine being wished back to life to immediately get killed by a bunch of like nerdy little androids. It says Tien is helpless to defend himself as he is mercilessly choked by Android 17.
It cracks me up so much because like Yamcha gets to the point where he's like, I'm like pretty much the same place that shoot, I'm forgetting his name now. The bald one, Krillin, where they kind of Krillin gets there, I think, a little bit earlier than Yamcha, but they're just like, no, we're never going to amount to the same power. And then Yamcha just quits. Like, he's like, I'm not fighting. I died enough, where Krillin, like, becomes much more of, like, a tactical fighter in later stuff from what I remember seeing. But anyway, just Tien's, like, the guy who's like, I am not willing to admit that I am weaker than all you guys. I'm going to go train. Oh, y'all just better. I don't accept it.
Yeah, I'm just reading, like, now I'm just curious, and now it's going on into, like, the Cell games.
Yeah.
And it says that they were, like, they gave him a chance to go to the hyperbolic time chamber to practice, and he's like, he bitterly declines the invitation, stating he has no chance against Cell.
He's just... he's the original angry boy that got forgotten, because Vegeta is now OG angry boy.
His character arc always makes me laugh when it's like he came to kill Goku and now they're like, oh, we're basically brothers-in-law. We're cool.
Yeah.
I've turned a new cheek.
Yeah, it's like when he comes back from the Frieza saga, he's back on Earth on stuff like Goku, but Goku's dead. But
I saw one tidbit. It's like Goku's struggling with heart disease. I was like, I didn't remember that, but okay.
Yep, that's the start of that's okay. That's the part of that's the reason why the androids, like, when they do the time travel part, takes over, because Goku has a heart disease that pretty much kills him. Well, not pretty much. It does kill him, which means nobody was able to, like, withstand the android attack. And that's why Future Trunk comes back. He's like, take this medicine so you can just hopefully save your timeline. And then goes back to the future. And it's like, nothing changed. And he comes back again. And he's like, Goku, you look fine. Did you? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, have you been taking the medicine? No. And he's like, excuse me. It's like, guys, what's happening here? And then it's like in the middle of the attack of, like, the first wave of androids. This when, like, Goku's like, it's hard to breathe. My heart. It was just the story plot way of how can we get Goku out of the way without killing him again
in another fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is always entertaining to me. Future Trunks comes back. They're like, who are you? It's like, I'm your kid. They're like, I'm not married. Who are you?
Yeah.
Vegeta.
I love the Dragon Ball Z abridged one. The way they say that, because, like, Vegeta, like, kind of has a hint, and then I think Future Trunks gets shot by, like, he gets shot by Cell. And it's just Vegeta's, like, just sitting there, like, at Future Trunks' ball, and he's like, that's my baby boy! And just freaks out, and then charges at Cell and just gets slapped in the face and falls on the ground. Anyway,
Cell's a fun arc.
Yeah. Oh man! But now that we're completely off schedule, let's talk about another person just getting owned, because Ford aims the quantum destabilizer at Bill, has him completely in sights, and then another wave washes over them, as for some reason made the bell come to life, but didn't change anything else conveniently. As the bell's like, woohoo, I'm alive now, which would totally distract me, and I don't blame Ford for getting distracted. As he shoots Bill's hat. The hat reforms, like, its muscle and sinew, and then
Bone.
hat. Yeah. As he has, I think, one of the creepiest turnaround things where he's a 2D entity, so it's just his eyes and mouth just roll around the side, just like, well. As Ford, like, tries to gives Dipper the journals, and he's like, get out here, the way to defeat Bill's in it. There's one other way, and then Dipper comes up, or not Dipper, he hears Bill coming up and tells Dipper to run away, to where...
Take the journals and...
Yeah. You take the journals and get out of here. And so... not Dipper. Ford is now, like, fully, like, size, like huge, like going over and tells Ford like, hey, old Six Fingers, good old Six Fingers, and like pretty much says, hey, you're a freak enough just to join us, so why don't you do that and we can have a good old time. As it looks like Ford's thinking about it, and he's he's like, and then he's like, I'll die before I join you. I know your weakness, Bill. And before Ford's able to do anything, he's like, oh yeah, well, I have a riddle. Why did the old man do this? As he like kind of poses his hands like like he's doing the
like Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller. And Ford's like, what, this? And then he shoots a laser, petrifying him, and Dipper's like, oh no. Excuse me. And the answer to the riddle was Bill needed a new back scratcher. Which totally makes sense.
Somewhat sense.
Mm-hmm. So, Dipper kind of gets angry and just goes up to be like, excuse me, pretty much like, hand over my uncle as he holds up the journal. Bill, totally unfazed, says, my old puppet's back for an encore, and pretty much says, think you can stop me? Go ahead, Pine Tree, show me what you got. And then, as it goes through, he's just flipping through, and he shines a black light on the third journal, and it says, if he gains a physical form, all is lost. As Dipper is just floundering, as Bill is constantly, like, just egging him on, just, it's like, come on, what are you doing? Everyone's waiting, do it. As Dipper just, like, just yells at him and then jumps to punch him right in the eye as a little kind of wall of energy stops Dipper and forces him back. As, like, all the people, like, all of Bill's friends are laughing at him. And Bill pretty much is like, all right, enough of this, and pretty much grabs all three journals and burns them in front of Dipper. And Bill's like, yeah, not much of a threat now. So he's like, so can anyone remind us why we came here? And April's like, to get weird. And they're like, yeah, that's right, everyone, VIP party in the pyramid. And pretty much tells 8-Ball and Teeth, like, you earned a treat, go eat Dipper. Or like have the kid for a snack.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so Bill pretty much shoots a car with a beam that turns into like this race car, like drag mobile with like flame shooting out of it. That's playing like this like almost like hip hop-ish music. As they're like, let's get out of here, as they all fly up to the pyramid. And 8-Ball and Teeth are like, so do we want to eat him or something? And Teeth's like, oh yeah, definitely eat him, as Dipper just runs away. So from there we kind of cut to a TV that's lying on the ground of Sean Imes that's just saying we're on day 3 of the Cataclysm of Weirdmageddon, or the Oddpocalypse. And then it's just kind of hear her talking about different things as an eye bat turns the pizza guy into stone before flying away. As Dipper gets away and is talking with the walkie-talkies, like, Mabel, don't know if you hear me, but I eluded capture. Hasn't been able to find Stan or her anywhere, and he's like, I'm gonna go find you guys. As I see Gravity Malls, which I don't think, have we been to the mall?
Yeah, that's where Seuss had his day, yeah, and all that stuff, yeah.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe we have seen it from the outside. It doesn't matter. Dipper's like, oh, maybe everyone's hiding in there, as he is about to run up, as there's, as they call it, the horrifying, sweaty, one-armed monstrosity. Who is just, hey you, I want to talk to you. I want to get you inside my mouth. And he's just kind of constantly crawling, as it is just a giant head with an arm coming out of it.
Yeah. It's pretty rude of you to ignore me like that.
Yeah, so as Dipper forces himself through the mall's automatic doors, as the giant head just is like, yeah, pretty much said what Hop just said, and he just like kind of gives up and walks away, as Dipper's like calling out in the mall, looking around, and then he's like, man, well, and sees like this plate of nachos like perfectly lit, and he's like, well, maybe I can get something to eat. And as he picks it up, we can see like a little string attached to it that activates this net that under him. It's like, help, the nachos tricked me. As Wendy pops her head out of a plant, like one of the potted plants there, and just like, Dipper? Dipper's like, you've been transformed into some sort of tree monster. Where she says, no, just camouflage, as her dad trained her and her and her brothers to do apocalypse training instead of Christmas. And it's like, well, I'm glad the paranoia paid off now. And Dipper's like, oh man, I thought everything's gone. He's like, yeah, well, we have each other now, and Toby Determined, who I accidentally mistook for a monster, as it just cuts to him. And he's like, this shoulder's in my arrow. Or this arrow's in my shoulder.
Would have been funny the other way, too.
Yeah, it would have been Weirdmageddon if his arm turned into an arrow and his arm's coming out of the arrow. So yeah, they kind of sneak around to a store called Edgy on Purpose, which is like Hot Topic, yeah. As she reveals, like, they were playing Truth and Dare in a cemetery, as Nate, Lee, Tambry, and Thompson all got petrified, and then Robbie almost got away, but had to pause to take a selfie, which seemed more like a Tambry thing, but
maybe it was together.
Yeah.
They are dating, so as far as we know.
Yeah. And so where Dipper reveals that he was in a fight with Mabel, and then pretty much spilled all the, like, in a couple sentences of what happened in the episode before. And like they and Wendy is seeing that Dipper's pretty beaten up about this, and they have to get some fresh air. Toby, you watch the camp as he comes out of like the dressing room. He's like, don't call me Toby anymore, call me Bodacious T. As Wendy rightfully says, no one will ever call you that.
Aww.
Yeah, aww. And so Wendy and Dipper are sitting like on the roof of the mall, kind of drinking some Pits. I forget, is it Dr. Pitts or just Pitts? Anyway, there's the soda, and pretty much Dipper's like, look, Ford's gone, Mabel's gone, like the journals are gone, like I can't do anything. And Wendy's like, yo, you've beaten Bill twice already, like why is this time any different? And to where Dipper says like, well, I had Mabel at those other times. To where Wendy definitely encouraging Dipper at this point. It's just like, well, let's get Mabel back. Like, look, you guys have done some amazing things, and pretty much when you and your sister are together, I don't know if it's luck or whatever, but you guys can, like, there's nothing you guys can't accomplish. As Dipper's like, well, how will we ever find her? As a monster eats a billboard, revealing Mabel's bubble. I'm like, oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's from her sweater. That must be Mabel.
As when he's like, is that Twin ESP? And he's like, no. But we do have the thing where algaes totally act up at the same time. But, so pretty much like, well, how we're going to get there. As we kind of go to the pyramid, as the demons are playing Spin the Person. As they're spinning Lazy Susan, and the head points to Pironica. As Hectogron like looks and freaks out and is like, no, flies away as Veronica catches him with a tongue and eats him. And as Bill's like, yeah, go nuts. When we're done partying, I will unveil phase 2, like a Marvel cinematic universe. And then we hear a familiar voice just saying, open up, it's the police, time police. And all the demons are like, whoa, and look up at Bill. And Bill's like, look, just play it cool, ditch the time punch, let me do the talking. And pretty much, the law tells him that he's in violation of the rules of space-time and possessing a body of a time officer. As I think at this point they blasted open the door. As Blend is like, my body's a temple, how dare you? And then Time Baby's there, and he's like, hear this, Cypher? And Bill Time baby. And so, yeah, pretty much Time Baby starts going off and like saying how what he's doing could destroy the very fabric of existence. To where he says, "Surrender now or face my tantrum." As Bill, it's like a tantrum. What do I do about boom? And then just like talking about Dragon Ball Z, yeah, does an energy blast and just kills Time Baby and I think the whole Time Police, like all of them, except for Blendon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he got away.
He said it was hiding behind a pole, so.
But it was just weird because he was like shouting and then, yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe because he's shorter, the blast pushed him away before the energy hit him. Who knows? So at this point, we have April and Teeth come back and says like, "Look, the Pine Tree Kid got away before we can eat him. Are you worried about that?" And Bill's like, "Nah, I got someone on the case." To where we cut to, Bud Gleeful's Automart, where Dipper, Toby, and Wendy are kind of just looking over the fence, and they're pretty much planning on getting a car there. Where Wendy is like, "I want to drive a tank." Where it's like, I don't think that's what's in an abandoned Automart, but hey,
she can dream. Yeah.
As Toby's like, "Oh, an air freshener. I can finally smell like a person. Stealthy, or steely, and a trank hits him. He's like, "It's gonna take more than one dart to keep me from." As like more darts just shoot him.
15 of them. Yeah.
He just like passes out on the ground, and then all these lights turn up. To where we see the prisoners there all done up like Mad Max. And he's like, "We got to bear ground walkers." And
no wheels.
Yeah. So they all laugh at him as Wendy like starts retorting with discount auto warriors. And Dipper's like, "Look, we just want to get to the bubble out east, no quarrel with you." As this low voice comes like, "Oh, I know where you're wrong. Hands where I can see them." And y'all fellas ain't going nowhere. And they're like, "Y'all fellas? Wait, Gideon?" As lit up Gideon is just sitting on the shoulders of Ghost Eyes. And he's like, "Yep, under the authority of Bill Cipher, I place you two under arrest." "Oh, hi, Wendy. Have we formally met?" So, pretty much, Gideon reveals that he's working with Bill Cipher because Bill gave him Mabel and that he only has the only key. As I do like this line, "Well, it's wrapped around I wouldn't really call it a neck exactly. It's wrapped around this pocket of fat under my head." As Dipper's like, "Look, you have no right to keep her there," and so Gideon's like, "Look, I have all eternity to wait for her to actually love me." And so they all bring up as Wendy's like, "Gideon, this isn't gonna work. Why is that?" And it's like, "Because after I break Ghost Eyes' arm and steal that key from your neck, I'm gonna wear your butt on my foot like a rhinestone slipper." And everyone starts laughing. He's like, "What makes you think you can do that?" And it's like, "'Cause I'm a flipping corduroy." And then
immediately.
Yep, flips over him, bends the arm back, dropping him. And then they just pick up Gideon like they pick up like a raccoon.
By the scruff.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Ah!" And
she's like, back.
Yeah. "Ghost Eyes, my hench angel."
"I'll drop kick him if you come any closer."
Yep. And they're all like backing away and everything. And Gideon's like, "You won't get away with this, you hear me?" And he's like, "Guess what? We already did." And she kicks him to the prisoners, and they get into a remade cop car, and they just start driving away. As Dipper says, "Wendy, you're the coolest person I know." And Wendy rightfully says, "I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it later." As they all kind of drive away, and then all the prisoner Gideon's group chases after them, and which another fun line. I think I just love the Gideon and Ghost Eyes banter. It's like, you want your baby seat? Yes, please. And then just like buckles him in and squeezes in, and is like, looks like he's like, can't breathe. He's like, now get him. But so yeah, they're definitely just definitely car chase, just driving in there as Wendy's swerving everything, and Differ's like, you did get your driver's license. Like, definitely not arm, as they swerve to avoid the horrifying sweaty one-arm monstrosity, as it grabs one of the following cars, and he just shoves the car and starts eating it. And so they keep chasing him, and where Ghost Eye's like, remind me, why are you keeping your girlfriend in a prison bubble again? Have we, the prisoners, become the wardens? He's like, she loves me, she just doesn't know it yet. I quit the philosophy. Sorry, it was my major. And so pretty much they get up to the madness bubbles. I forget what they're called, but
weirdness.
Yeah. And Differ's like, we had to go around the bubble field, and when he's like, now we got to go through. And as they go in, scream as they go into there, and they're all sitting there calmly as their heads are now birds, and that's just Differ turns chirping. It's like, for some reason, I really want worms right now. As Wendy excitedly chirps, eat worms, fly south, nest. and they come out as like they're just coughing up feathers, and then they go through a series of one where it's like they become anime characters, and then they become meat products, and then they become their voice actors. To where Gideon and Ghost Eyes follow up behind them, where they become made of, it says 3D blocks, female versions of themselves in like dresses and makeup. And then old-fashioned silent cartoon versions of themselves as a card comes up saying "Arg, ugh," and but yeah, so pretty much Ghost Eyes catches up, and they're kind of slamming their cars back and forth into each other. As Wendy says, like, we got to make the jump, and goes, and which I think for someone who doesn't have a driver's license, she's able to drive stick really well.
Yes. I like how she says, lack of driving experience, don't let me down now, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, don't fail me now, as she accelerates, and they go out, and like the car like flips and crashes all over, as Differ's like, what was there, Mabel? And then stops with this cloaked figure, and it's just like this big shadowy person, and it's like, hey, Dipper, how you hanging? And it's just Seuss. Just and he's like, yes, handyman of the apocalypse, at your service. And it turns out Seuss was just wandering around helping random people, to where apparently in the past 3 days he's helped so many people out that there's folk songs being sung about him now. And as he tells Wendy, like, well, the good news, your arm's okay. And Dip's like, what's the bad news? Like, we're surrounded. As somehow everyone got Gideon's group caught up. And yeah, pretty much Gideon's like, man, you almost got away, but hey, I win. And he blows, it says a conch, but it it looks like a ram horn.
Yeah, it looks a lot bigger than a conch.
Yeah. But he blows into this horn as Bill's henchbats are pretty much coming out of the pyramid. And he's like, yeah, Mabel's mine now. And Dipper's like, well, is she? And he's like, well, yeah, I have her trapped, ergo she's mine. Where Dipper shares what he's been learning this whole summer as he looks at Wendy's. He's like, look, you might not, like, you can't force someone to love you, but you can, the best you can do is strive to be someone worth loving. And Gideon's like, has a little bit of trouble like understanding that as Dipper goes in farther, and he's like, yeah, the prisoners love you, but Mabel doesn't because you're selfish, but you can change. And like after a little bit, and Gideon is definitely going back and forth a little bit, and where Dipper like finally just asks, like, look, this is all for Mabel, ask yourself what Mabel wants you to do. As Gideon pulls the newspaper article out of his hair again, and just like, and then just thinks, it's like, Dipper, you tell her what I did? And Dipper's like, yeah, of course. And where Gideon, I think for the first time ever, does something that's not for himself, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna go. New plan. Bill and minions are gonna be on us in a second, and like we're gonna go face them. Who's ready for a good old prison brawl?" Gosei's like, "We're behind you for life, brother." As another prisoner's like, "Fighting children is boring, but fighting Chaos God sounds fun." Sorry, go ahead.
My favorite line. Fighting kids is boring.
Yeah. And so he's like, "Henchmen, roll out," as they all go off to face Bill. As we see Dipper, Seuss, and Wendy in front of Mabel's bubble. They unlock it. They all hold hands and enter the bubble to go find Mabel. As the screen turns white as we have a "to be continued." And then we have, as the credits come down, a cut to the horrifying, sweaty, one-eyed arm monstrosity. As he's like, "Anybody want to get in my mouth? I'm a big hungry monster here. I would really appreciate it if someone, you ma'am, how would you like to get in my..." And then this woman screams off screen, just screams, and he's like, "Anybody? Hello, sir? Oh, false alarm, that's just a bird. Not one person has gotten in my mouth." I don't care anymore. I'm gonna call my mother." She begins to crawl away, and that's the end of the episode. So, definitely a fun episode. Who does play? Oh, Louis C.K.
Oh, that's who plays the big head.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look at the revelations and all that. There are a lot of characters, lots of voice actors. Let's see. Wendy has always wanted to drive a tank. Yep. The allergies comment. Yep. Philosophy, and Gosei's majoring in it. Doomsday prepping instead of celebrating Christmas. Poor family, but I guess it works out.
Well, like, if that's always what you did, like, then
you don't know the difference.
Yeah, it's like, it's always one of the things, like, it's a little bit different, but it's like when people are like, what if this word was, like, instead of saying this word, we always said this word, and it's like, then it would have been normal. Because that's what we've always would have done. Like, just if we never celebrated a holiday. Like, in that world, it would be normal.
Yeah, and then when he doesn't have her license. There was a decent amount of continuity. I know, just from me noticing, we see the Manicore, or the...
Mabelcorn?
Well, yeah, we see the Mabel... We basically see all the fictional creatures of Gravity Falls running away together at the same time. Because the gnomes, I laughed when they were like, "Get out of the way, Stretch, we're scampering here." And you see, like, the Minotaur, you see the gnomes, you see the unicorn, all sprinting away while the weirdness is hitting. Oh, yeah, the Bill makes references to talking to other people to find out another way in, which would be Gideon. Bill likes to call Dipper his old puppet because of the sock opera when he took over his body. Apparently the snake and the badger that were in love are running out of the forest too. I miss that.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
I liked Tyler the Cute Biker as the mayor. Why don't you get on out of here? Who's still mayor. He tried his best. Oh yeah, Rumble McSkirmish makes his way out of the arcade.
Oh, excuse me.
He has the freedom to punch. Gideon and his newspaper. And all of the zoom-ins of Mabel going, eh.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it here, but the stick for one of the prisoners' cars is the...
Oh, the head of
the
blind eye
guy. Let's see.
Yeah, that's a good catch. I noticed that too. The pterodactyl was seen on top of the mall. I missed that.
Trying to see if it has.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the other episode where the water tower no longer has its graffiti because there's a hole. The security pod crashed through it. And that's still the case because the water tower came to life.
Blind Ivan's his name.
Oh, the Blind Eye Society. Blind Ivan. Makes sense.
I didn't. This is interesting. So the end credit cryptogram is the last thing in the continuity. Says the time baby's molecules will take 1,000 years to reconstitute, which possibly reference the short mailbox. Which, different Seuss. Looking at this, stumble upon a mailbox in the middle of a forest and discover who or what it's for. Let's see. Yeah, it's... Yeah, so it looks like it's a mailbox where they send things in.
I'm sending you that fact because you were asking, where did the name of the episode come from? And more or less, the title of this episode is Weirdmageddon, but ciphered with a key that is Blue Book, which is the keyword from Dipper and Mabel versus the Futures episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't have figured that out.
Also, Louis C.K. has been taken out of the show. That's the next trivia fact.
Oh.
So you were looking at... it says Alex Hirsch just redubbed it. That's why I thought it sounded like Grunkle Stan. But it's Alex Hirsch redubbing Big Headed Man.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't sound like him. Like, because... but it's just... Oh, okay. Yep. It says in the original version. So, I was saying, I'm like, isn't that the dude that did the stuff? And
that's the one trivia fact that says, after he admitted to doing the stuff, he has been redubbed and taken out of the show. But yeah, so that is the episode. It's a fun episode, and it's, even though it's like kind of the beginning of the end, it's also feels like the beginning of a whole new season, even though it's one of 3 episodes. Yeah. There's so much that happens.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, because the guy at work that his daughters love this show. He was telling me that apparently Disney wanted him to do a 3rd season. Like, and he's like, dude, you guys fought me every step of the way to even allow me to get this, and it's like, it's the end. Like, this...
Yeah, I think you read one trivia fact, which was nice, where he was like, summer comes to an end, and they're teenagers now, so some things just kind of... You can't keep doing it.
Yeah. It's, it would be interesting to see, mainly because I'm blanking. Well, I'll find out in 2 episodes. I forget how the end results of Bill. But I'm gonna just wait until, well, for us next Monday.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I have a question for you. Who is your favorite character this episode?
I know the expected answer would be Bill Cipher, which I do like him, but I want to put a pair in there. I want to put Gideon and Ghost Eyes, because their banter back and forth, like, I don't know, it's just, I think it was just Gideon saying that, it wouldn't be as funny, and I don't think Ghost Eyes on his own would have been as funny, but it was just like the combination of those two. I'm probably breaking our specified rules, but it was just, I think
I don't remember any particular rules.
Yeah, well, we don't really have one except give an answer. But no, it was constantly like, just they were cracking me up, where it's like, normally Gideon is like, he's like very annoying, but I think with the fact that Ghost Eyes is like, who's supposed to be his second in command, is constantly like, are you sure you're supposed to be doing that? And he's just like, why are you questioning me? And he's like, oh, just
whatever you say, sir. We're buddies. We're pals. I trust you, brother.
It's like, chill out.
Yeah, what was it? Killbone. Prison life would not be the same without Gideon.
Yeah. So, how about yourself?
My favorite... There were a lot of good one-liners. I kind of almost want to put Seuss because it was kind of like the episode where Seuss was, on one hand, like the smartest and most useful Seuss has like been in a while. Because like it felt like the early episodes, Seuss was really active, and this season it feels like Seuss is kind of like, hey guys, like he's not nearly as active in this season, or at least in the episodes coming up to this point. So it was kind of fun for me to see Seuss go, if anybody's gonna fix the apocalypse, it's gonna be me. And then you forget about him, and then suddenly he comes in like he's like the guy venturing on Dune with his ragged coat and everything, and he's like, it is I, Seuss.
He's the courier in Fallout New Vegas. Like everyone thought he was dead, but now he's back.
All right. Is there anyone you think you're the most like this episode?
The short interaction of Stan, I was like, I can relate to that. Where he's just
this is your final. You know what? Goodbye.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this ain't worth it. But I gotta look at the list again of people who are in this episode. All 800 of them.
I know, there's so many.
Because like I don't really see myself as like Ford is prepared and everything for this, and it's just like I don't prepare that much, and we don't really get a good picture of any of like Bill's friends.
No, they just kind of eat each other,
yeah,
and drink a lot.
Toby determined, like,
Are you Preston Northwest? Shh, the adults are talking.
I don't want to think I would sell out
yourself
everybody.
That hard. Yeah. I am rich, and I will do anything that makes you happy because I care about myself and late stage capitalism.
Like the way Bill changes the world feels like that's what I do to every tabletop role playing world that I'm given in charge of. It's like, is that the rule? Not anymore. Yeah, I'm definitely not a Wendy either. You know what? I feel like I guess more of recent, like Dipper, once he realized that Mabel's in trouble, even though like Ford kind of pulls him around and stuff, it's just his whole mission was like, I need to find Mabel and help her. And just with over the past couple of years, like of different stuff that's been going on, like I feel this like I would do something similar for my family. So it's just like I'm trying to find and help them out, where it's like I know I made decisions that would show that. So I'm gonna say Dipper, even though I would like to put Bill, but it's like, let's be honest, I won't. I will never have the ability to warp time and space like that. And if we do, it's sucks to be y'all. How about you?
It's tough because, like, I'm nothing like Wendy in this episode. I don't think I would stand up for action in the same way Seuss did. I think
Toby determined. What's up, my cool kids?
Call me a bodacious teen. I'm not Time Baby. I'm not Blendin. My body's a temple. I'm definitely not the Northwests. At best, I'd be Pacifica, where I'd be like, you can't say that. And then that's it. That's all I do this time. I don't think I'm brave enough to be Tyler Cute Biker. See here, scary triangle man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like you said, there's not much to be said about Bill's friends. I don't see myself in Bill. I don't think I'm a backstabber, and I'm not as obsessive as little Gideon, even though I do like my 2D love interests. I would never imprison them until they fell in love with me. Which is also funny, because when you think about it, Mabel did do that with the boy band.
Yeah.
But they did love her back. They just, that was Stockholm.
But they also knew, which is getting into the next episode, I feel like. So.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're Grunkle Stan.
But I don't really, like, sass my pets when they, like, annoy me. I'll, like, jokingly be like, what are you staring at? What are you doing? And then, but, like, I never threaten to kick them off of my property when they've done something. I don't know.
Let's see.
This one's tough.
Yeah. Sheriff Blubs.
Oh, yeah, that'd be me. No, my darling. Deputy Durland. You know what? Yeah, let's just put Blubs. Because, like...
I was about to say for you, but...
Go ahead. What were you going to say for me?
No, like, for Blubs, instead of, like, Durland, no, I was going to say Strider, no, but then the name that it wasn't Strider, it was Strudel.
But yeah, I'll do
Blubs. That's not his name.
Because I do think I would just be panicking. I'm not a main character. I feel like my life runs like a sitcom and it forces me to be the main character, but I do not have main character energy. In times of need, you can find me hyperventilating in the corner.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people that have main character energy.
A lot of people will say that they do.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it? When I was watching The Last of Us and people were like saying like, well, if I was in that, I'm like, if you were in that, you'd already be turned. No more talking. Because you shot a paintball doesn't mean you can fight zombies.
Oh, man. I forgot. There was probably an answer that would have worked a whole lot better, which would have been Abuelita. Me
turning into a chair and taking a nap?
Well, I was saying, well, it could be for either of us.
I would not be that calm.
Yeah.
Would you be that calm?
I don't know. I never turned into anything besides myself, so... But probably not. I don't know. I could see people in my life that would definitely be that way. Oh, wait. I completely forgot about, like, all the prisoners, too. And I'm like... just constantly questioning, like, hey...
Oh, yeah.
You do it? Are you sure
What's your degree in, D-Payne?
That... You know what? That would be our friendship, is me not so much being obsessed with another human, but it's just random things as me being Gideon, like, we gotta do this, and then you're like, are you sure? It's like, let's take a step back. No! Okay. As I tell other people, I think most podcasts, once they get like a certain amount of episodes in, there is the one who is the voice of reason, and then the other one that is borderline, if not constantly insane. And it's we'll let you decide which one's which. I
only have 3 different planners at my desk.
I have the planner that Hop put on our calendar. That's how I know what's going on. I remember everything in my head, which doesn't always work. Any poops. That is it for this episode, guys. I'm hungry. I want to go
I'm sleepy.
And that is our podcast. That's how we should introduce ourselves next. We won't remember that.
Continuity.
Yeah.
It's only a few days away. I think we might remember.
Well, guys, you'll find out next week if we remembered 2 days or 3 days later. But thank you, everybody. We are drawing close to the end of this. We have 2 more episodes, and then we're going to be starting. We haven't come up for a name for the next thing. So, but it's fun. We already recorded 1 episode, and it was chaos. So anyway, thanks for watching or listening, and y'all have a good night or day or whenever you're watching this. Until next time, bye-bye.